My Horrible Spelling. It's Jane.
And it's JV.
And we're here with the original video, My Horrible Spelling. We watched the black version first.
Yes.
And it was so funny, so we
Super
needed
funny.
to see the original.
Yeah, and even in the spelling, it's spelled wrong, and teacher spelled it wrong, so
Yeah.
let's get into this.
Okay, class, spell Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I don't know how to spell Wednesday. Well, James, just
Sounds
sound it
like
out.
W-H-E-N.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't
So,
sound
like
like how
this?
it's
No,
it's not
James,
spelled how it
it's
sounds.
Wednesday. You said sound it out, and that's how you sound it out. You think you have it bad? Do is spelled with an X. I think it comes to no surprise that I'm terrible at spelling. I feel like everyone in life falls into two categories. Either you're good at math and bad at reading, or you're weird.
That
And
was
if you've
me.
seen my other
Good at
videos,
math,
you
bad
know
at
that I'm a math boy. My mom told me that I have dyslexia because she has dyslexia and I have all the symptoms, but we never got that diagnosed by a doctor, so you can't make me take my meds, Mom. A lot of times what I do to cover up the fact that I spell lower than a first grade level is I will purposely misspell words to the point where it's obviously a joke. You thought I was doing that to be funny, but it's actually because I have zero self-confidence in my spelling and I don't want anyone to point out my mistakes. I mentioned this in a different video, but in elementary school, I was put into an honors program, and everyone had to take spelling tests a grade ahead of their level. And by everyone, I mean everyone except me, because I failed every single spelling test. So I had to take spelling tests that were on level. Ew. Every week when we took a spelling test, I would have to move to the back of the classroom, and the teacher would stand right next to me. She'd call out everyone else's word, which had like 8 syllables, like anti-disestablishmentarianism, and then she'd turn to me and give me my on-level word. James, your word is cat.
That's terrible, man. Like, it's such a...
Class
Also, one year our
system.
class did a spelling
Yeah.
bee, and everyone had to participate, and like, I didn't even care that I was the first one out. Hey, that's almost my name. Another thing that I mentioned in a pretty old video is that I used to have a speech impediment when I was little. I
Me
couldn't
too.
pronounce my O's and I talked like this. I'm good now. Obviously. So every other day during school, I had to go to a speech therapy class, and one day the teacher who taught me how to pronounce my O's, I'll call her Mrs. Kool-Aid, gave me this sheet of paper with a bunch of raindrops on it, and she said,
Raindrops?
for every raindrop on this page, say the word raindrop. But then she just left the room, and I
What?
said, well, I'm not gonna do this. I didn't say raindrop a single time. It's like
Raindrop.
no one was even there. No one would have seen me not saying raindrop.
This is
So why would I
loud.
do something that I didn't want to do? But
so
then the funny
stupid.
part is when she came
Yeah.
back, she asked, "Are you finished saying your raindrops?" No. Well, how many did you say? I didn't say any. You stupid child. I told her the truth for some reason. I don't know why. It was probably the easiest lie in my life to get away with, but that's why I remember this story. I'm still mad at myself for telling the truth. And I had to say raindrop a bunch of times in front of her, and she would only go to the next raindrop until I said it right. And it was terrible. It really hurt my feelings. Since I was struggling with
what?
reading and spelling, I had to get an IEP. An incredible, excellent personality, which meant I had to go to a special class for a little bit during school. And the teacher who taught this class was none other than Mrs. Kool-Aid. Oh, yeah. I don't know why I said it like that. I don't remember anyone ever telling me I was put into a special needs class.
that's
I just
really-
remember going into speech therapy every other day, and then those classes slowly morphed into teaching me how to read and spell. I don't know, I thought reading this book would have helped me talk better. 2 other kids were in the reading class with me, and I remember the day when reading for me just clicked. Us 3 were given a simple sentence to read. It was about bees. It was so simple. It was literally just, to defend their hive from wasps, bees don't sting the wasp. Instead, they all crowd around the wasp and flap their wings to raise their body temperature, heating up the wasp
What?
until it dies. And then Mrs.
Holy
Kool-Aid
crap.
asked us, okay, how do bees defend against wasps? And the other 2 kids said, they sting them. And I said, what? No, you morons! Didn't you weed this? The words in this paper have meaning when placed in a certain order to convey information. Also, I never want to get hugged by a bee. So I was in these classes all the way until the 6th grade. I was getting better at reading. It still wasn't great, but I was getting better at it. And one day, Mrs. Kool-Aid said, you know, James, you should try competing in the Battle of the Books. Battle of the Books? Battle
That's
of
so
the
cool.
Books! Battle of the Books! Finally, reading sounds fun!
Battle
At my
of the
school,
Books.
Battle of the Books was this competition where students were given a list of 4 books to read within a time limit of like 2 months. I don't remember how long it was. And after however many months it was, the contestants would sit in an auditorium and take turns answering questions about the books. And whoever got the most questions right would get a pizza party. And that's where the battle part comes in. We'd kill each other for pizza. And then there were 2 more rounds, each with 4 more books, so there was a total of 12 books you had to read. And we
That
were allowed
sounds
to be with a
amazing.
partner, so my partner was TJ. Hey, TJ, do you remember Battle of the Books? Yeah, man, it was great. Now, you're probably thinking that
Battle
4
of the
books in
Books.
2 months isn't that hard, especially since they're kids' books. But as someone who didn't read any books on my own outside of school, it was a challenge. But I discovered a way to cheat the system. I discovered something called
Audiobooks?
audiobooks.
Oh
Instead
my
of having to
God.
sit still and read the book, I could just have someone read the book to me. And I would get through the book so much faster. I'd be able to read a book in about 8 hours as opposed to reading a book never, because I would never be able to finish a book on my own. And I was actually able to understand what was going on. I legitimately thought that listening to audiobooks was cheating because of how well it worked. So I never told anyone my secret until just now.
Yeah.
Please don't tell anyone. Also, I didn't just turn on an audiobook and start playing video games. No, I sat in my bed next to the CD player and followed along with the book, and sometimes I even
That's
took
good.
notes. I've wanted to
Took
talk about my
notes.
love for audiobooks for so long, but I can't. Because then people will think I'm getting paid by a certain company, but
Audible.
I'm not. And I'll prove it. Instead of wasting your money on quality audiobooks made by professionals, you guys should all check out LibriVox.org, where you can listen to
Wait.
free public domain audiobooks,
Oh.
which means there's
didn't
only
know
old-timey
that.
classical books on it, like Aesop's Fables, which in my opinion is all you need. Anyway, TJ and I did the Battle of the Books, and for one of the rounds, TJ was sick, so I had to answer the questions all by myself, and I never forgave him for that. And also the whole time I was keeping track of everyone's points, and me and TJ got the most questions right.
Whoa,
My
really?
math skills are finally being useful. I was already craving the pizza. After the last round, the teacher said, "Okay, I'll tally up all the points and let you all know who the winner is in a couple of weeks." But since I was keeping track of
Couple of
everyone's
weeks.
score, I already knew we won. I turned to TJ and I said, "TJ, guess what? We already..." Oh, this is the round that you were sick on. How did I not notice that until just now? But then a couple of weeks go by, and I'm not hearing any news about a pizza party. I was expecting to walk into class one day, and there would just be a pile of pizza boxes waiting for me. But that never happened.
What?
The teacher in charge of the competition was the librarian, so one day I went up to her and I asked, "So, did you ever say who won the Battle of the Books? Also, my favorite pizza is barbecue chicken." And she said, "Oh, these 2 fifth graders won." So the Battle of the
What?
Books was for both 5th and 6th graders. I was a 6th grader, so I went to all the 6th grader battles. But apparently, there was some low-life 5th grader who got every single question right and
Oh.
stole my pizza party. And that taught me a
Damn.
valuable lesson. Even when you work hard, you don't always get what you want in life. But that's okay. Because one day, you'll be an adult and you can buy all the pizza you want without having to read first.
Hello
He's
there.
really
Any of you down for a game of
funny.
Yeah,
soccer?
he's good.
I mean football?
Man,
That was
funny.
great. We gotta like that video because that was
Yeah.
really good.
He does great work, guys. Really.
and
that's
we're already
really cool.
subscribed to him.
Yeah. So
The odd one
any
out.
spelling? I'm a terrible speller, as we said before, but I'm getting better.
Yeah. Did you have to do spelling tests?
Yeah, we do spelling tests.
I
No,
used-
actually, no like standing spelling tests.
I had to
just
do
like written
in
stuff.
grade 8. You know why I'm such a good speller? Do you know why?
No.
In grade 8, I had to do, I think it was grade 8. No, it was younger, but it was my grade 8 teacher. He came into the class and he was like walking around, and then I was in a different class and he looked at my paper on my desk and he saw that I got like 4 of the 10 words wrong. And he was like, something like, I don't know, he just made me feel stupid.
Yeah.
And I was so mad that I became a really good speller.
Cool.
But it wasn't him being nice. You know, I think I spelled police wrong.
Yeah, you just wanted to kind of.
Yeah, and
Prove
then
him wrong.
my dad at the time was a
Motivated
police
you.
officer. And he was like, "Oh, I bet your dad would be ashamed of you," or something
Along those
like
lines,
something
yeah,
so
that
mean,
affected
you know?
you.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
then
well,
I
it
became a
worked.
better speller.
Became a better speller, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's at
He's
the
dead
beginning.
now,
He said
that
something
man.
about you're either some people are math and then some people are readers. But like that's being disproven now. It's just a mental thing. Like if you think you're a bad speller or if you think you're bad at math,
Then
then
you
you
will
will
be.
be bad at math. You gotta just tell yourself that, I could do
Yeah.
both.
In high school, I thought I was bad at math,
Yeah.
and I took a stats class in university and I got an A.
Yeah.
So it's like,
You're not.
what?
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
You just think you're bad. Like, I'm not a math person, but
Yeah.
if you just applied yourself, you would be great.
Just gotta keep
Yeah.
working at it.
All right, guys, go to his channel, like the video,
Subscribe
to him. The
Like-
links are in the description, and then come back and then like our video and subscribe to us.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Catch you next time. We're out of here. Peace. If you like that video and you want to see more, go ahead and click that square button.
And if you want to subscribe, click that circle button.
Thanks for being part of Team Go.